Corruption continues in Trudeau's House of Commons as emails into his spending and favors of kickbacks are sealed from the public knowledge. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. When it comes to Justin Trudeau and his vacations, well, nothing seems to be off limits. We've seen many times over this year, especially people saying, hey, like on the left wing, we've had enough. We've had enough of people questioning Justin Trudeau and his holidays. We've had enough of Justin Trudeau being questioned and grilled for his rightful vacations that he has earned, and he should be allowed to go on those vacations and bill taxpayers and live his life like a wealthy elite, while the plebs of Canada sit in their homes and freeze and debate whether or not they can turn on the heat or eat food or even have a Christmas this year. When it comes to Justin Trudeau's lavish living styles, especially when he's on vacation, you look back to his retreats to Montana, his Vancouver trips last year, as well as the Queen's funeral. We've seen his trip to India, of course, his infamous trip to India with some white powder sand that seems to be infamous around there. We've now seen his Christmas trip to Jamaica Man, as he had an issue with a jet. And my question is how much is going to be billed to the taxpayer when Parliament gets back into session this week, if we'll find out those details. But one thing we will not find out is the one thing that I've had an issue with from day one, and that is the conflict of interest of Justin Trudeau once again taking a gift in terms of $80,000 in free boarding, I guess you could call it. Now, Justin Trudeau says this is a friend, and it's a friend of the family who, once again, as if you remember his Christmas holiday in 2022, Justin went to this villa in Jamaica with his family where he claimed that, well, this is somebody who donates to the Trudeau Foundation, but he doesn't have anything to do with the Trudeau Foundation. And of course, they're just friends of the family. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you guys, but do you have many friends who give you a timeshare for free when you go on vacation, or do you some kind of a favor that would cost increments of somewhere around $80,000 and then never expect a favor or a kickback or any kind of corrupt wrongdoing? Well, the biggest question on our minds, of course, this article coming to us from True North, and I wanted to touch on this because a Commons committee has voted to keep Trudeau's holiday emails a secret. Well, if Justin Trudeau did everything by the books and he had nothing to hide, well, then why is it that he doesn't want anybody looking at his emails? I wonder. Well, let's get into this because, of course, Michael Barrett, MP for the Conservatives. Again, I've reached out to his office. I'm hoping we can get him here on the channel at some point in the near future to talk about this. But let's dig into what he had to say, because this is where it becomes alarming. The House of Commons Ethics Committee, or the CEC, voted 7-3 to reject a Conservative motion to request internet emails about Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's latest Sun holiday, according to BlackRock's reporter. There's been a change in the story 3 times, said Conservative MP Michael Barrett at the CEC meeting. Find out if there had been a deception. The Prime Minister's office announced on January 4th Trudeau was staying with his family in Jamaica at no cost, despite a prior claim he would be covering the expenses himself. Now, when we touch on the expenses, again, we talked about this in another video, what Justin Trudeau is billed when he goes to take a vacation like this, when he says he's covering his expenses, well, he's supposed to compensate the cost of an average airline fare when he goes to Jamaica. So he probably paid about, we'll say, $1,000 round trip for each family member, including his ex-wife. And what I understand, I've heard rumor that her new boyfriend, the doctor, joined along, all to go to Jamaica. But while they're in Jamaica, Justin Trudeau has to have enhanced security detail. He drinks alcohol with everybody. He eats with everybody. He lives a lavish lifestyle. So again, my question is what outside of those airplane tickets gets billed to the Canadian taxpayer? The Trudeaus spent the holidays in Jamaica, although officials refused to disclose where they were staying at first. Again, screams of corruption. If there was, they've stated that everything was cleared ahead of time, which there's no authority to clear a vacation. That's been stated before by Michael Barrett that they don't have the right to clear those things. But if there was nothing to hide, then why wouldn't they disclose it at first? The PMO had said Trudeau was paying for the trip with his estranged wife Sophie and their three children out of his own pocket, but it later claimed accommodations were provided by family friends. Barrett asked the CEC order all correspondence, including emails, text messages, messages sent on any electronic messaging applications, phone call logs, handwritten notes, memoranda, briefing materials, and any documents produced regarding Prime Minister's travel to Prospect Estate in Jamaica, which rightfully so. We have a right to know what discussions are going on. Prospect Estate and Villa is a Jamaican resort owned by the Green family. Trudeau Foundation donor Peter Green, longtime friend of the Trudeaus through his family's oil and gas company, Luscar Limited. Fancy that. Political asides announced on January 10th that the Office of Ethics Commissioner was consulted before the trip to ensure the rules were abided by. And here's where we get into what Michael Barrett said. The PMO said OEC cleared the vacation. Since then, the OEC said it is not a function that it provides. They don't pre-clear vacations, said Barrett. And the commissioner cannot release the correspondence between the Prime Minister and his office without the authority to do that or an instruction to do that. So this is where, again, they say, well, it was pre-cleared, because what they're hoping are Canadians are stupid enough to say, well, if it was cleared, there shouldn't be a problem. But it's like me saying, well, I've cleared the bank to give me $1 million. Well, I don't have the authority to do that. It's a moot statement. At this moment, he said in question, he has the OEC deceived or misled that in any way, adding to the CEC should get to the bottom of it. The best way to do that would to have the ethics commissioner come to this committee, he said. Liberal bloc leader and MPs rejected the motion for documents. NDP MP Daniel Blakey said no paperwork was required to prove the PMO was deceptive. The ethics commissioner doesn't pre-approve things, they said. I know it from my own experience. Blakey acknowledged people can already see the Prime Minister's office is doing a bad job of being accountable to Canadians. We can already see the Prime Minister's office has given inconsistent answers, he said. We don't need to see the emails. Yeah, we do. The reason we want to see those emails is, again, this is an $80,000 property. And that's a huge conflict of interest, considering this guy is a donator to the Trudeau Foundation and runs an oil and gas company. Keep in mind, this is an oil and gas company that does not work out of Alberta, I might add. With this vacation, he said it might be what Trudeau is doing is permitted by the rules. There's no rule prohibiting an expensive vacation. Yes, there is. Again, under conflict of interest, prime ministers or MPs, they are allowed to receive gifts. I know gifts is a part of this, but they say things like gifts could be like a dinner or some kind of small token of appreciation. They are not allowed to receive $80,000 properties over Christmas, 2 years in a row, I might add. So you're looking at almost $200,000 in free gifts from somebody who says, no conflict of interest here. We're just good friends. There are rules that talk about what is appropriate to repay, he said. Trudeau was cited by the OEC in 2017 for breaching the Conflict of Interest Act for accepting $215,000 from the Canadian government contractor, the Aga Khan. If y'all remember that screw up, again, so this is $215,000. And again, when you add 2022 as well as this year to the same property twice in Jamaica, you're getting to almost the $200,000 mark. He apologized in 2021 after photographers caught him strolling on a beach holiday in Tofino, BC on the initial Truth and Reconciliation Day. The PMO said he was in private meetings in Ottawa at the time. He billed taxpayers $162,000 for another week-long Christmas holiday in Jamaica in 2022. So again, $162,000 was billed to the taxpayers last year. He was only to reimburse commercial tickets this year, or the equivalent. So expect another, again, with inflation, very costly bill. But we're also talking about roughly $180 or $160 to $170,000 worth of gifts in hotel rooms. We recognize the holiday will be difficult for many Canadians with the cost of living tied to global inflation, he said. Times are tough. I mean, this here, if this isn't corruption, I don't know what is. I mean, everybody's going to say in the comments, I can hear it already, hey, this doesn't surprise me. It's Justin Trudeau. Nothing's going to happen. Those are the typical comments we see. The problem is, MPs like Michael Barrett need to continue to push for this. We need to have clarity. We need to make sure there's no favors being exchanged for these kind of gifts. Because again, I'd really like to hear anybody telling me that they've received even a quarter of what Justin Trudeau has been given here in gifts and just told, no big deal, it's all good. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What do you think should be happening here? Uh, is anything going to happen? I know the answer is going to be no. People are going to say that, but let me know your comments down below. Anyways, it helps us in the algorithm. After all, every time we talk negative about Justin Trudeau, these videos get buried. So make sure to like, subscribe, do all the usual YouTube stuff, and join us here on the channel every Sunday for our weekly wrap as we go into everything that's happened in the past week, everything coming up a week ahead, and a little bit of back and forth with the community and getting to know you guys outside of making these videos. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.